Hi, I'm Candy Mowen, and I'm an adjunct professor. I teach mathematics. I've taught professionalism. I've taught career readiness. I've taught business courses. And I've taught many folks on preparing them how to get that perfect job. Right now, Learning Revolutions is preparing everybody for that emergency home learning. And I want to share with you a little bit today about how to get that job you want. Have you ever wanted that dream job, the job you couldn't wait to get? Whether you are just out of high school or college, whether you're looking for a second career or looking for a new job, one thing we're going to talk about today is understanding professionalism. Some really don't realize or have never been on a job interview. Some of you maybe have been out of the job workforce, you've been there and you haven't needed to look for that interview. Well, a lot of things have changed in the last 10, 15, 20 years. Used to be pretty simple. You walk in, fill out an application, they ask you a few questions, and they either got the second interview or you were hired on the spot. Things are a lot different. Sometimes they put you through scenarios. How would you handle a situation? Sometimes they'll give you a survey that really wants to find out about you as a person, how you feel towards people. And that big word that's everybody's looking to see how people will handle in the workforce is diversity. Well, first off, you have to understand what is professionalism. There are factors that shape the professional image, your professional brand. Did you ever realize that you are like a walking business card? Your brand can make or break you in the workforce or in an organization. First off, there are things that we want to look at that shape that professional image. Communication skills, the way you speak and the way you write. Communication is one of the most important factors that owners, managers, HR people are looking for. The mindset of being a team player, getting the job done and working well with others. Your attire. 93% of managers say a person's style of dress influences their earning a promotion or even being hired. And those nonverbal cues. Body language. Are you sending the wrong message? So we want to say, what is professional presence? Professional presence goes hand in hand with professionalism. Well, what can it be? It can be confidence, how you feel in yourself. Do you have confidence to walk in that door, get that interview, get that job that you want? How do others see you? Do they see that confidence? Authenticity, your attributes, your commitments. How sincere are you? What are your intentions? Positive body language. Do you come across as being confident, in power, a team player, looking at things with a positive attitude, with a smile on your face, extending that hand when you go in for that interview? Again, your dress. Attire is very important. There are certain colors that could be worn, blue, black, show power and confidence. Proper vocal management, not shouting, showing though in that enthusiasm and passion. And empathy, your ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Very important. So professional presence. What is professional presence? Your professional value brand. What you bring to the table. How do you sell yourself as an asset to that company? Why do they want you? Your promise. What is your promise to them? What cards do you bring to the table? What skills will get you to the top? What is evident in your behaviors and measured in people's perception about your character? Your abilities and your worth to them and to the organization. These are things that are professional presence. These things you must show and illustrate when you walk in that door to get that perfect job. So what is professionalism? You still don't know? How is it different than professional presence? Or how is it similar? Well, defining professionalism, Webster says the conduct, aims, or qualities that characterize or mark a profession or a professional person. Do you have that compassion? Can you teach? Do you have responsibility? Do you give and gain respect? Are you honest? Are you ethical? Are you up to date in your knowledge in your field? Are you competent? These are just some of what brings to the table in defining professionalism. Warren Buffett said, how can you be sure that you make a favorable impression? It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. When you make that first impression, when you walk in that door for that interview, you don't get a chance to make a first impression. It doesn't take a lot of time for that first impression to be formed. Stated at 60 seconds or less. You must be aware of when you walk in that door, you might not be meeting that HR person. You might not be meeting that future boss. But there are people there observing you, the receptionist that you say who you are and what time your appointment is. They are checking you out possibly for that HR person, for that future employer. Things that you need to know. Keep the cell phone in your pocket, in your pocketbook, in the car. Don't be sitting there texting, looking at Facebook prior to an interview. Have your ducks in a row. Do your research. Have questions that you want to ask that employer. They will be impressed if you've done your homework and done your research, looking at their mission, their vision statements, where they're at. Maybe ask them where they want to be in 5 to 10 years. One main thing that people are looking at now is way people work together as allies in the workforce is their social and behavior intelligence in the field, your field of choice. It breaks down into behavior, your emotional intelligence, your social intelligence. And what are they? Did you ever consider that? Well, social intelligence is looking at how you deal with people, diversity, people around you in the workplace. If an issue comes up, how do you handle it? Emotional intelligence is your self-awareness, your self-management of you in situations. When we look at social intelligence, it's a basic understanding of people, people around you, people of different diversities, cultures, being respectful. It's knowing that you need skills for interacting successfully with them. Because you might be asked to be on a team. Team players are very important in the workforce today. They might not have been really that far in the totem pole 20 years ago, but now you might be placed in a team. So you have to be able to have the skills to interact with different people. Let them have a voice. Decide how you can be patient, how you can be understanding, how you can work together for a common goal. There are 5 dimensions of social intelligence. There is presence, your external image or sense of self that is perceived by others. Do they see you as a confident person? It's your self-respect, your self-worth, and the confidence in yourself. Clarity, your ability to express yourself clearly to others. Your awareness, your ability to understand social contexts that influence behavior. How do you read situations if you ever come to that managerial position? Something or someone may come to you, or a situation may arise that, you have to read the situation and act. Might not have a lot of time to think. Your authenticity, again, the way of behavior, which gives a perception, maybe of honesty, maybe of respect, maybe of accountability. And empathy, your ability to create a sense of connection with others, understanding them, their point of view. Well, how do you improve your emotional intelligence skills? Are there ways? Sure. Be honest about your feelings. Do you have to make improvements? Do you have weaknesses and strengths? There's another thing that you might be asked the day you walk in for an interview. What are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? Sometimes it's hard for us to say, do we have a weakness? Do we want to highlight that for a future employer? Yes, you do. You might phrase it in a way or on your resume that your weakness might be, I'm a much of a perfectionist. I like organizational skills, but I'm working on not being so OCD. You've turned it around to make it a positive that you are working on it, but it is an organizational skill that maybe some people want, that you do have that perfection, that organizational skill of keeping things in order. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. Maybe somebody's having a bad day and they just got off on the wrong foot. How would you want somebody to perceive you if that happened to you? Make positive choices when you go into that workforce. Be open to feedback and discourse. One thing is, there's always, can learn and build off of constructive criticism. You can always learn from that, good feedback. Communication, as I said, is very, very important. Communication is one of the most important aspects of the workplace. If communication fails from the top to the bottom, then nothing gets done. It is vital to understand that there is more to communicating than what comes out of your mouth. Sometimes that doesn't always work. Sometimes, again, that can lead to misunderstandings. Do you have soft skills that are needed in the workplace? What are some of those? What are soft skills? Here are just a few to be sure to place on your resume. Patience, motivation, flexibility, drive, active listening, powerful words, action words that can tell about you, team spirit, communication. Creativity is very important. They may ask you some different situations and how you can be creative. How do you think out of the box? So how do we define soft skills? Well, they refer to a cluster of personal qualities, habits, attitudes, social graces that make someone a good employee and compatible to work with. Very important. Hard skills, which tend to be specific to a certain type of task. Soft skills are broadly applicable. Here are some examples of those soft skills that are an internal personal attribute that will help you. Now, we've talked about that. Empathy is one of them. Leadership is very important. Can you be a leader to that team or that group that you might be associated with at work? Communication, teamwork, good manners, ability to teach and help someone, especially somebody that might be coming along down the road, works well with diversity, and has that self-confidence. Now, difference between soft skills, hard skills. Hard skills are teachable. They're skill sets that are easy to quantify. Soft skills, also known as people skills, or those interpersonal skills. Well, a lot of this has to do with a degree or your education, typing speed, how you operate machineries at work, computer programming, for example. But soft skills sometimes can't be taught. That's one thing that you have to have, that ability to have that brand, that personalization, that professionalism, that professional presence, communication, flexibility, time management is very important. Those are things that you want to make sure that you highlight. Hard skills take time and money to acquire. Soft skills, some you can improve on by yourself. The top 5 skills in demand. You need to know your skills for deciding job goals, preparing job applications, cover letters, and resumes. These are the type that you need to go and think about when you're looking for that dream job or how to get that job you want. Communication skills, there again, number 1. Ability to work in a team. 2. Problem-solving skills. How are you going to handle a situation? Leadership skills, and strong work ethic. And you can see how they build, how they are interwoven together, and how they can be the top 5 that an employer is looking for. Soft skills are also examples of maybe some personal attributes that you need to build on. It's often said that hard skills will get you an interview, but you need soft skills to get and keep the job. Some of these are optimism. Are you optimistic? Do you show responsibility? A good sense of humor sometimes. Sometimes we have to laugh at ourselves. Integrity, that honesty, very important. Can you be trusted? Do you have that accountability? Time management, very important, especially if there's a deadline that a project needs to be done. Can they count on you? Motivation. Are you motivated in your job? Can you motivate others? And common sense. Sometimes it just comes down to something that simple. And finally, a good old positive attitude will help you get that perfect job. As Winston Churchill said, attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. And that is very true. These are things that might seem just very simple to you, but they can get you that job you want if you have them, if you can work at them, if you can look in the mirror and be a person that can self-reflect. Do you have what it takes to get that perfect job? Understand these, folks. Professionalism, professional presence go hand in hand in making and giving you that right job.